Hey again, fearless gamers. Matt the Clown coming back at you with the Joy of Painting minis. Painting again our Infinity PanOceania Akalis Sikh Commando or Troop or whatever his name is. Last episode we started highlighting back up from the wash. We had base coated him in Gnarls Green and Ruluk Gold and Beaten Purple. Gave him a wash of Agrax Earthshade. And then we brought him back up to those first three colors. And now we're working on highlighting him up to Josan Green. And we're going to start working on highlighting him up to Solid Gold. We may highlight beyond Gnarls Green into something like a Necrotite Green. Or a, I don't know, some other kind of green. At which point I will let you know. All these paints are in the P3 range except for the Citadel wash. But that we will come across, but those are the colors you're going to need if you want to follow along with this paint scheme. You may notice there's a little bit of whispering in the background. I'm watching a little bit of YouTube, or rather listening to a little bit of YouTube. I like to have some sound on when I paint. Let's get down to business. No Huns will be harmed in the filming of this episode. So we were working on the Josan, and we're going to get back into the Josan. Get his little antenna, get this, get his little ear bit, get the top of his helmet. And we're going to get the very top of his helmet, get the tippy top of his antenna, and we're going to get a little in here. I hope you guys can... I'm so bad at determining where the camera is. So I apologize if there are huge chunks of this where you can't actually see what I'm doing. Still getting used to this. I mentioned a lot in the last episode how I have no idea what I'm doing. Essentially. Yeah, that needs a little... very light, thin coat. Don't be afraid to do thin coats. I'm doing fairly thick coats, partially because I'm not too invested in the final result of this particular model. This is a model that came from the Operation Ice Storm starter set. I'm not a huge fan of PanOceania, to be honest. They're not my favorite faction in Infinity. It's just that I picked up the starter set to sort of see what it was all about, and because I, thought it sounded good. And my fiance, she took the Nomad models, I took the Pano models, and I mostly took them to use them for painting. I'll probably play with them at some point, because, well, I have them. But I mostly just wanted to use them. Actually, kind of with this particular series in mind, I now have several models that need to be painted that I can just sort of paint for you guys on camera. So you'll be seeing more of my work in this particular series over time. So I am going to get better at dealing with the camera. Can you see what I'm doing here? I don't know if it's zoomed in enough for you guys to really get the details here. At the end of the episode, or at the end of the process, I'm going to zoom in real good, show you guys the end product at the very least. Maybe at some point my fiance will do an episode or two of this. Maybe with her nomads. Who knows? She's got a fairly effective Yujing army for Infinity. She tends to be the one who wins more often than not, between me and her and the Stark Lord, we like to do three-way games. Take that as you will, fearless gamers. No, we like to do three-person games. Two persons are fun, but I always find group games are more fun. Okay, so we got his jetpack. Yeah, I think I will do one thin coat of the Josan. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, okay, so I screwed that up. So I'm going to go back and fix that real quick. I doubted, oh goodness, I doubted my decision to just do that spot in Gnarls and decided to try and put a little, like a thin coat of Josan green on there, and didn't like the results. Oh god, I'm covered in paint. Hold on. If you're a part of this hobby, you know what just happened. I opened a pot and it spilled paint all over me. Sometimes I'll go into work and my coworkers will look at me and be like, what the hell happened to your hands? And, you know, they won't understand. Like, oh, I was painting little men. I'm not really going to do much on this side because that gun's going to block all the light. So I'm just going to kind of keep this side mostly as it is. Which makes things a little bit easier. But also can make things more difficult. And actually, no, it doesn't make things more difficult. I was just trying to sound like I was putting real effort in. Okay, so I'm gonna stop with the Josan for now. I might come back to it, but I'm not gonna piddle with it. Now we're gonna start working on the solid gold, which I'm gonna shake up real good because one of the problems with the P3 metallic paints is that all like the solid stuff kind of falls to the bottom and all the liquid stuff stays at the top. So you get it super thin with very little actual metallic medium. Having that problem right now, in fact. Oh, God, this sucks. There we go. You gotta mix it up really good, otherwise you're just sort of working with slightly tinted water. Which works, sort of, sometimes, but not when you actually want your paint to behave like it's paint. Okay, and we're going to get this. Now, as I mentioned before, highlight smaller and smaller areas. You don't want to get rid of your shadows. So like for this gun down here, I'm just going to kind of get little bits, 2 hairs and some air, essentially. On this end, I'm not going to highlight the top bit. Here, I'm just going to kind of get the edge of the knee pad and the edge of the foot cover. And I'm not even going to touch those over there. Get a little bit more in here. This gun is going to be a lot of me using the side of the brush so that I don't get rid of the super fine details, because there's so many very, very fine details on this gun that the highlighting process could just obliterate, like just destroy, and I don't want to destroy those highlights, or rather those details. Those details are what make Infinity models so alluring, for me at least. It's part of what got me into Infinity, was that the models have such detailed sculpts. Now, I hope you can see what I've done there. It's a little bit more, you know. Let me just get the top of the gun. Top of the gun will be easier. Again, keep pulling it off camera. I have a habit of bringing my models straight up to my face. I'm trying to break that habit for you guys, but it's been difficult to do that. And like I said, just smaller and smaller areas that would hit the light the most. If the light wouldn't hit it, don't highlight it. I gotta get into his little eye bit there at some point. I'll probably use some kind of orange, but I'll tell you what orange I use when I use it. Oh, right, we gotta get these, which do a little of that. Get more paint on the brush. Load up your bristles, ladies and gentlemen. That. And that. Okay. And we'll continue this way. Really, this shoulder is the hardest part because it's facing the light and it's a curved surface. Highlighting a curved surface can be a real pain in the butt. I'm not going to stress too hard about it, but you know, feel free to do that yourself. Stress, go for it. Stress is lovely. Okay. I don't feel like I'm done, you know? Like, I feel like there's more to be done, and so I am going to grab a little bit of Scorn Red. You can use whatever red you like. I like Scorn Red. Actually, no. Scorn Red's not bright enough. I'm actually going to use Cador Red Base. It's a nice bright red. If you don't have Cador Red Base, use whatever bright red you have. Again, paint all over my fingers. That's my only real complaint about the P3 pots. That they're really tough to open, and you make a huge mess every time. Take that, and then we're going to take the beaten purple, and we're going to create a highlight color for the purple. Oh, God. Huge mess. Ugh. Now we're going to want more purple than red here. So we're just going to take a touch of the red. And we're going to mix it in with the purple. Okay, we need more of the red. I overestimated how much red I took. There you go. A little bit more. I hate mixing, by the way. I never get a consistent color between two mixes, so I'll always mix either way more than I need or not nearly enough. So in here, we're just gonna sort of touch up that little bit, and then we're gonna get on his buttocks with a little tiny bit. The purple doesn't need a lot of highlighting, but a little bit can go a long way. But and there you go, a little of that. And we'll get that in here as well. I'm being a little bit more liberal with the highlights on the pants because otherwise you'll never know it's there. You'll never know I even bothered, and I want people to know that I bothered. There we go. That gives the pants a little bit more depth. Cool. Now, I am going to go in and grab a brighter green from my little paint setup, which is easier said than done because my painting setup is a huge mess. So I apologize for the crazy noise that's about to happen. Oh God, what have I done? What have I done? Alright, cool. Is this gonna work out? Maybe I'll use this one. So, I didn't see my necrotite green, which has me a little nervous. Don't know where that got off to. I need to reorganize my paint carousel, but I'm going to consider... Yeah, that could work. So I grabbed some worm green. It's a brighter green than the Josan, and it doesn't really necessarily look great next to it, but a mix of the two might actually look really super cool for the very, very bright spots. So I'm going to grab a bit of the worm green. I'm going to grab a little bit of the Josan green. Oh, come on, these pots. They hurt my hands. It's like a Toblerone. Anybody else aware of that joke? The Toblerone hurts your hands kind of thing? Leave a comment if you know that joke. Okay, now I've got my Josan and my worm green, and I'm just going to mash them together. See what they turn into, you know? I think I like it. I'm not going to have enough of it. Shit. Alright, I've got to do this quick before it all dries out. So, first part goes here. To differentiate this plane from the one next to it. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. That's good. That's a good color. Alright, so let's get a little on here. And on here. With a little here. Just little bits. Oh, crap. Ah, okay. Actually, I fixed it. Cool. Fixed it by wiping. Usually you gotta get in there with some water when you screw something up like that. Yep. And we're gonna get in there with a little of this in here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Now I've got so little of this color mixed up, and I wasn't being particularly careful about my my amounts that I'm panicking a little, because I don't think I'll be able to make this again. And I'm really happy with this color, so I'm sort of rushing through, panicking. Don't do it the way I did it, is sort of the point I'm trying to make. Don't do what I've just done. If you're going to mix colors, be a bit more aware of what you're grabbing and how much you're grabbing. That way, you won't end up panicking with a tiny amount of color on your palette that is quickly drying out. You'll be able to do as much as you need to do at your leisure. Leisure. I don't know why I said leisure. I'm American. In America. I'm supposed to pronounce it leisure. I wonder if anybody says it as leisure. EI, being able to make that... That was my phone. I apologize, everyone. Somebody texted me. Maybe it was my fiance. Maybe it was somebody else. I'm just going to get in there here with a little bit more of it, because I like it a lot there. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot better. I don't know if you guys can see it with the way my lighting and the way my angles are, but I'm happy with it, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm a little bit screwed on the rest of this army with this color now, though, because I'm not going to remember how to make it. I'm just going to remember. I'm going to have to remember that it was a little bit of worm green, a a little bit of Josan green, and like it was a little bit more than, it was not quite a 1-to-1. There was a little bit more Josan than worm. Let's just reach out and grab an orange color. Watch this. Alright. Oh wait, no, I've been working with... No, never mind. Went out of my mind a little bit. We're going to use a little bit of ember orange, I think. Actually, are we? No. No, it's kind of I'm sure this is the most entertaining part of my entire video here. Me figuring out what to do for his eyes. Screw it. We're going to go with Cador Red base for his eyes. So we're going to shake that up. Oh god. And again, making a mess. Get some... Oh, well, hold on, I just washed this. I'm not going to use this brush. The bristles are a bit too big. So we're going to put it down. And we're going to grab one of my detail brushes. I've got 2 detail brushes from Army Painter that I picked up from the War Store. We're going to go with the Psycho. Yes, now. Come on. Come on. There you go. It's super tiny detail. So I'm either going to screw this up terribly because of how tiny this brush is, or this is going to go super well. So I'm just going to get into here on his armor, rather on his helmet. He's got little... At least it looks to me like where his eyes would be. Apparently I've got no paint on my brush here. Oh god, the tip on this thing has gone completely to shit. Whoa, what happened? How did that happen? What the hell's going on? I must have screwed this brush up real bad, because the tip is all messed up, and I've just screwed up the helmet really bad. Great. Okay, hold on. Let's grab this brush. See if we can... No, okay. So we're going to take the Psycho and we're just going to throw it away. Maybe not throw it in the garbage, but we're not going to use it for this because the tip is all screwy. So instead we're going to go with the Insane Detail. Not quite as tiny. Because it looks like the tip is a little bit more, has a little bit more integrity to it right now. But of course I'm sloppy. I screwed it up anyway. Great. Do that. Do that. Huh. Well, I may have gotten lucky and sort of did an accidental, No, I didn't get lucky because I just pulled some of the paint off. God damn it. Note to note to self, note to everyone, be very careful, because now I've got to go back in there. This is me sort of panicking. And we'll just do a little of that. No. Well, it's not going to be that easy, is it? Oh, that will. Well, that'll have to do it. Because I'm not going to go in there and start over. Okay. Alright, that worked out. Okay. Now, Bob Ross has a piece of advice that he gives everyone as he's coming to the end of a painting, and that advice is not to piddle with it. You'll come to a point where you're happy with it, but you want to keep going and making it better. Oh, god damn it. For Christ's sake. Okay, we're good. But you're going to piddle with it, and you're going to piddle it to death, is what he calls it. So, I'm not going to piddle this thing to death. Instead, I'm going to call this one here. I'm going to call this one finished. I know this is a short series. This is, what, only 4 episodes? But it was a small model with a simple paint scheme without a lot of crazy detail stuff going on. So, wait a minute. No, there's still something left to do. I gotta do the base. So that's what I'm going to do in the next episode. I'm going to paint, and I'm going to do his base up. I'm going to do it with a little bit of snow flock. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode. So until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.